Okay, hi. Thanks so much, everybody, for bearing with me here. So I'm really glad to be here with all of you. When Ethan asked me to do this keynote talk, I don't think that he realized that I'm actually from New Jersey. Yeah, special shout out to the Folk Project, the New Jersey Folk Project, the folk music organization that I grew up in here. I'm actually from North Jersey, not to be confused with the Shore Points. It's a different thing. But actually, I came down here a lot as a kid with my family to Asbury Park and nearby Ocean Grove. And, we did these kind of extravagant family vacations where we'd pack everything in the car and drive one whole hour south and then post up in a motel and just go in the ocean as much as possible and eat pizza and ice cream. It was a very good time. So for those of you who are coming here from Tennessee and Minnesota and Ontario and Connecticut, I just thought I'd take a second to tell you a little bit about this place and what it means to me, but also to give you a deep historical sense about this place. I want to talk to you tonight about the ways that I'm discovering songwriting and citizenship and my life, frankly, from a sense of layered history. So tonight I'm going to tell you some things about where I'm coming from. We are on land built by water. We are on water moved by time. 10 million years ago, South Jersey was shaped in sand by the receding seas. Glacial melt molded estuaries into a soft coast that shifts and settles and shifts again. Bottlenose dolphins, sharks, and sandpipers, mussels and gulls call this place home. Ziwanaki, place of sea fans, the shellfish that the Lenni Lenape harvested here in their summer fishing waters. Water built this coast. Water brought the Europeans, coming in like driftwood, coming in like a hurricane. Lenapehoking, this land by another name, a coast that shifts and settles and shifts again. Lenapehoking, Lenape homeland. Lenapehoking, this land stolen and stripped. This land of Methodist church camp meetings, rows of crisp white tents, a pious city dry as a preacher's lips. This land, 2 towns removed from New Jersey's only documented racial terror lynching. This land, a refuge from the city heat for my ancestors, see them rumbling on the rails from Brooklyn, the Bronx, Passaic, earning their diversions through their sweat. This land of carnival rides and carousels, new Americans reaching for the brass ring. This land of segregated beaches. We are in a city where race riots rang a bell, 1970, beneath the nation's penny arcade, the boardwalk's bitter rot, and even rotten, those boards caught fire, fire, where it meets the sea, the air, the land. Lenapehoking, a coast that shifts and settles and shifts again. We are in a land of abandoned amusements. We are in a city made famous by Bruce Springsteen. We are in a city held together by dune grass and songs, a coast that shifts, a city that avoided the worst of Hurricane Sandy as it pulled land into water and water onto land. We are in a city where a small child watches July at work on the stark, empty buildings, the grass patches between the slate sidewalks, the ladybugs. Lost people call out to her. Are they the unquiet dead? No, her father says they were thrown out of the mental health centers and into the streets by Ronald Reagan. She is 5. She rides the teacups, the last straggling amusement that bobs at the low water mark of Asbury Park. She is 7, singing songs in the twilight with her parents and the Polish proprietors of the Polonaise Motel. She is 15. She slinks around the old casino building looking for ghosts while her father looks for her. She is 22, daring herself to jump into the April waves. She is 34, and she is the lost one now. Here, where earth meets air, meets water, she is scattering her father's ashes on a February afternoon. A coast that shifts and settles and shifts again. So this place is really important to me, but my story is not the only story here. It's just the story that I know best. And I've found that in order to understand my own story, it's been important to me to go back and back and back in time. And also to imagine forward into the future. At a time when our country is embroiled in a real life and death struggle to agree on reality, I have turned to scholars, journalists, and people's movements for a reality check. But I've also been looking to artists of all kinds to help me get a handle on what's what. And the incredible thing about art, about songs, is that they get a lot of latitude in terms of how they describe reality. Journalists must be concerned with facts, or at least they should be, that kind of truth. But those of us who write songs or create theater or visual art or whatever, we get to be expressive and imaginative, to narrow the lens to a single person's story, or expand it to include the whole universe. We talked today in the Writing Your Conscience workshop about how valuable it is to hear stories about people's realities. Now, those realities can be multiple. They can be seemingly in conflict with each other. They can deliver more complex portraits of a person, of a society, a person who is not good or bad, but human, a society that is not only righteous or corrupt, but both of those things and more at once. Asbury Park can be the site of inequity that persists to this day, as well as an iconic, life-giving place where people have been brought together by music for generations. We feel it when these songs are real. They move us to greater empathy, they shock us, or they call us on our bullshit. They bring us to more nuanced understanding. They help us to accept, to heal, to fight, to soften, or to steel ourselves. Maybe you'll take up this practice of questioning, of looking for the layers. As you explore Asbury Park, maybe you'll ask, what is under the boardwalk, out of the sun? Or why don't these little lakes around town go all the way out to the ocean? Have you noticed that? Seems a little fishy, doesn't it? Maybe you'll ask that question. When you meet a new person at this conference, maybe you'll wonder, what happened in this person's life to bring them here? Who are all the people, living and dead, who made it possible for them to be who they are in this life and in this music? Now, of course, the logical end of this questioning is to ask, where am I coming from? Where am I really from? I just tried to tell you a little bit about where I'm coming from as it relates to Asbury Park, and I felt that to do that I had to call my mom and Google some stuff and, jump into the ocean this morning and just feel the place. And I'm really glad that I did, because there's so much underneath and before. Right now I'm working on a couple songwriting projects in this vein. In January, I'm premiering a song cycle called 74 Corridor in Brooklyn. All new songs about family history along the number 74 New Jersey Transit bus line where I grew up between Patterson and Newark. I released a song this year called Animal about my abortion experience, but that puts a wide lens on a story to look at many life forms and life cycles that surround a very personal experience. And to close out my talk, I just want to play a song of mine called Where I'm Coming From. And Liam Robinson is so gracious to join me. Our duo, Robinson and Rohe, is here doing some showcases this weekend. And thank you so much. This, as we're getting sort of situated up here, I'll just say I wrote this song, Where I'm Coming From, thinking about the people who made me, the broader culture from which I'm descended, and how I came to be a white person in America. So here we go, just a second. La da 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 da, we da 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 da. Can I have a little less guitar over here in this wedge, please? Yeah, that's even better. You want to sing a little, Liam?
Hey, there we go, there we go.
All right, let's do this. One, two. I want to. Little less guitar, please. I come from people who came from nothing, the huddled masses on the shore. They came from wars, they came from suffering, came sailing through her golden door. I come from people who left their homelands and friends forever left behind. I come from people hungry for something, people with freedom on their minds. I come from people who came to work hard, miners and dockers on the shore, worked in the steel mills or in the shipyard, or locked behind the sweatshop doors. I come from people taunted and spit on, their bodies chewed up in the grind. I come from anarchists, I come from socialists, the suffering of Jesus on their minds. Oh, dream of America. Oh, how the dream wears thin once your ship comes in America. American, who fought and died on distant shores, and though they weren't, yet they learned a secret, that being white could open doors. So I come from people who left their language, who changed their names and got in line. I come from people who don't remember becoming Americans in America's mind. I come from people who sank the lifeboats, who snuffed her torch when they came ashore, who turned a country into a fortress, stony walls that have no door. Oh, I come from people who saw their dreams bloom, just as their fears made them go blind. These people made me, oh, they complicate me. NERFA.